Welcome to this evening's meeting of the Muskogee Municipal Authority, April 10, 2017. Roll call, please.
Consider approval of MMA minutes of March 13, 2017.
Roll call.
Let's start with roll call.
You can see everybody's here.
Mayor,
I'm with you, Jane.
We got to make it official.
Mayor Bob Coburn.
Here.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Here.
Dan Hall.
Here.
Marlon Coleman.
Here.
Janie Boydston. Here. Wayne Johnson.
Here.
Patrick Kale.
Here.
Ivory Van.
Here.
Derek Reed.
Here.
We've got to keep each other straight in this thing. Okay, item number 1.
Consider approval of MMA minutes of March 13, 2017.
Is there additions or corrections to the March 13th minutes? If not, entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any comments? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Yes.
Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 2.
Consider approval of MMA claims for month ending March 2017.
Mr. Miller.
Yes, you have before you the list of claims for this month, including our reserve for capital projects and our debt service, and we recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
To it? Got a motion and a second. Any comments? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Yes.
Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes, motion carries. That concludes our Muskogee Municipal Authority agenda. We will now go to our Muskogee City Council agenda, and we have a presentation to make. Mr. Hammonds would please join me down front, and we will.
Doing all of it or just you?
Is
it all of us?
We're doing a law day.
Okay, good.
Well, I don't care. We can do it.
No, no, you can't.
No.
No,
Sure.
go ahead.
It's presentable.
we're good.
We do it either way.
I don't want to be associated.
I don't want
with
to be
that.
down there.
This is a proclamation for Law Day. Whereas Law Day is a celebration of our nation's great heritage of liberty, justice, and equality under law, and whereas this country was founded on the principles that voluntary adherence to the rule of law expands rather than limits the opportunities of freedom, and whereas as Americans we are proud of our heritage as a free nation and that the law safeguards our rights and our freedoms. Whereas a viable democracy requires understanding of the basis and history of our laws, and whereas the Law Day 2017 theme, Transforming American Democracy. The 14th Amendment encourages citizens to gain a greater understanding of the role of the 14th Amendment has played in reshaping American law and society. Through its citizenship, due process, and equal protection clauses, this transformative amendment advanced the rights of all Americans. It also played a pivotal role in the extending the reach of the Bill of Rights to the states. Ratified during the Reconstruction period of American history, the 14th Amendment serves as the cornerstone of landmark civil rights legislation, the foundation of numerous federal court decisions protecting fundamental rights, and a source of inspiration for all of those who advocate for equal justice under law. Now, therefore, I, John Robert Coburn, Mayor of the City of Muskogee, State of Oklahoma, do hereby proclaim May 1st, 2017 as Law Day in the City of Muskogee and urge the citizens, schools, businesses, and media to use this occasion to preserve and strengthen the rule of law. Signed and sealed on the 22nd of March. Thank you. And by way of introduction, former Mayor Tyler Hammonds, who is a great friend of mine, and I'm going to give him the microphone. He wants to make a few comments regarding Law Day.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the distinct pleasure of having served as the president of the Muskogee County Bar Association for 2017, and we are honored to accept this on behalf of our association. Since 1904, Oklahoma lawyers have represented the city people of Oklahoma. We have made sure that their rights are protected. In the darkest times, we are there to be their advocate and be their comfort. On Law Day, we come together and remember that we are a nation of laws and not of men, and that how our rights are protected through our democracy. Law Day is a great day for all Oklahomans, not just lawyers. I hope that each one of you will take that day and remember that this is an opportunity to remember all the things we have gained through our laws. As a celebration of this, the Muskogee County Bar Association is hosting a number of events to ensure that all people, regardless of income, have access to their laws. On April 28th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., we are having a Wills for Heroes event in which any first responder in Muskogee County can come to talk to a lawyer and have their estate planned for free. We're happy to do that as a service to the first responders of this community. And then that night from 5 to 10, we are hosting a Phone a Lawyer in which any citizen in Muskogee can call a number and talk to a lawyer at no charge about any question they might have on their minds. We're also trying to extend knowledge of Law Day to all citizens, especially the younger generation, by sponsoring a coloring contest for the elementary students with the theme of what does the 14th Amendment and equal protection mean to you. So please extend this information to any of those who might benefit from it. The lawyers in Muskogee County stand ready to serve. So thank you, Mayor, for this proclamation. We look forward to working with the city of Muskogee.
Do we need to announce?
It's always an honor to have Tyler Hammonds come as a former mayor and advocate for the citizens of Muskogee and for the Cherokee Nation as well. Invocation this evening will be by Councilmember Derek Reed, and then join us for the flag salute to follow.
Shall we pray? Oh, gracious Father, we come thanking you once again for another day. Thank you for allowing us just to behold the beauty of this day that wasn't promised, but by your grace, your mercy, and your love, you afforded us this opportunity. We ask that you would look upon us tonight as we come together as city leaders. Ask that you would order our steps in your will and in your way. Just bless us and keep us as a community. Bless our nation and bless our nation's leaders. These and many other blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join us for the flag salute. Attention, salute, pledge. We'll now consider the minutes from the regular session of March 27th, just as soon as we finish roll call. We're trying to make this last 30 minutes or more, I think, just by making mistakes. Sorry, roll call, please.
Mayor Bob Coburn.
Here.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Here.
Dan Hall.
Here.
Marlon Coleman.
Here.
Janie Boydston.
Here.
Wayne Johnson.
Here.
Patrick Kale.
Here.
Ivory Van.
Here.
Derek Reed.
Here.
Are accounted for. Now we'll consider those minutes from the regular session on March 27th, 2017. Is there additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, entertain a
Move for
motion.
approval.
Second.
Get a motion and a second. Any comment or question? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Yes.
Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes, motion carries. The consent agenda will be items 1 through 5, unless there's something in that someone would like to move to regular agenda. If there is not, we will consider items 1 through 5 as the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion regarding that?
Move for approval.
Second.
Get a motion and a second. Any comments? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Yes.
Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes, and that motion carries for the consent agenda. And then we'll go to regular agenda item number 6.
Hold a public hearing and consider the approval of an ordinance annexing into the city limits property located at 2005 Old Shawnee Road, more particularly described in the ordinance, and authorize staff to revise the official map of the city to reflect said change and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Garvin? No, Ms. Callahan, and we will consider ourselves in a public hearing at this point.
This request is from the applicant's Trickle-Down Investments for an annexation of property that is located at 2005 Old Shawnee Road. The property is approximately 1.21 acres, and it would like to be annexed into the city limits. The annexation is to allow the property to be developed by Pinnacle Telecom, and to do that, they would need to also connect to the city water, and according to the city water policy 8-1, that does require annexation. Staff, Planning Commission, and Public Works have recommended approval. And with this annexation, the property would come in under the I-2 light industrial zoning classification, whereas generally, if it's not specified, it would be the R1 residential.
Okay. No one had signed up to speak to this item, so we will now close the public hearing. And this is recommended by staff, Planning Commission, and Public Works as well. Okay. Is there a question or comment?
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any comments? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Yes.
Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes.
Move for emergency.
Thank you. Okay, we got a recommendation, or I guess a motion for emergency in a second. Is there a comment or question regarding that? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Yes.
Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 7, please.
Consider approval of a preliminary and final plat of Trickle Down Addition consisting of one lot on 1.21 acres located at 2005 Old Shawnee Road, or take other necessary action.
Mrs. Callahan again.
This is the same piece of property, and with that annexation, it was unplatted property and was broken off from the existing land that was there. So they did need to have it platted into a subdivision. It is a preliminary and final plat of Trickle Down Addition. It's consisting of one lot on 1.21 acres. And of course, the property is located at 2005 Old Shawnee Road. And this is to allow the property to be developed or under construction or starting construction. Pinnacle Telecom, staff, subdivision review, Planning Commission, and Public Works have recommended approval.
Okay. Do I hear a motion regarding this item?
Move for approval.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any question or comment? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Yes.
Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8.
Consider approval of a grant of easement to the United States of America Department of Veterans Affairs for the purpose of construction of a public roadway from 48th Street to the west parking area of the VA hospital, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Tucker.
Mayor, members of the council, you may remember back in January, the council granted authority to staff to begin working with the VA to get approval for an easement to allow the construction of this, for a grant of easement to allow for the construction of this roadway. This project began back in 2015 when the engineering staff of the VA began to realize that they needed to do some hillside stabilization projects. So this road will serve two purposes. And first, we're granting them an easement. They will construct the road. The road will then be used to haul the heavy equipment up to secure the hillside so that there's no issues with any future movement of the earth below the VA center. Secondly, once that has done, the road will be the plan is that the road will then be dedicated back to the city and will be used for a public roadway. This will allow some of the traffic to be diverted from Honor Heights Drive and Buffalo Drive to allow staff of the VA to gain entrance from North 48th Street directly to the parking area. This was originally discussed with the Park Board back in 2015, and it was recommended for approval. But you all may remember that during that time, funding was uncertain with the federal government. They have now since obtained that funding and reached out to us earlier, actually in December, to move this forward. And so happy to answer any questions, but we have vetted this through the Public Works Department with Mr. Stewart, who attended these meetings, as well as through the Planning Department to confirm the grant of easement and the legal description that was provided therein. So happy to answer any questions. I recommend approval.
I remember in 2015 when we were trying to get this done. And when we were discussing it, we were all excited about it because we were thinking that in the future that this road would help us open that, 17 acres that we bought in there? And that would help us open that up as the rest of the park at Honor Heights, into development in there, to put a parking lot and everything on the other side to alleviate some of the stress from our parking during Azalea festivals and stuff like that. So I'm glad to see this going on. I would like to say I move for approval.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Is there other comments?
I'd like to ask just a question, and I don't know, I see the road. Why was that particular location? It almost looks like it bisects those acreage that we bought. Is that just something the parks, what was the considerations for making that particular route?
They believed, the engineering staff at the VA believed that to be the most direct route based upon the terrain that is in that area, to, of course, separate it from the road that does travel through Honor Heights Park. So this is wholly within the new area that was acquired, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And so the design of that did have to do with the terrain and with its endpoint being the most accurate location for the heavy equipment and the parking to be able to leave the roadway onto that property.
If I remember right, Mike, doesn't that hill slope down right there, and it's real steep right there, and they just figured they had followed around there so they wouldn't have to cut into the hill and bring it down.
It almost follows that road that's been cut out of there for years and years.
Exhibit 8B helps kind of understand what Dan's talking about on the terrain change.
I'm just curious.
We have a motion and a second. Is there other comments or discussion? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Yes.
Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes, motion carries. Mark Patel, you had signed up to speak this evening. You're the only person that signed up to speak, so come to the microphone and give us your name and your address, sir, and you will have 3 minutes.
All right. Thank you, Mayor Bob. Coburn and City Councilman, I really appreciate this time that you have given us. I'm speaking on behalf of the Muskogee Hotel Lodging Association that was formed about 6 months ago. Some of them are here. I'm the president. One of our main concerns is business has gone down over the last year and a half, 18 months to 2 years, mainly due to tourism. I think Muskogee needs something to bring tourism back into the city of Muskogee. We, as hoteliers, been in the hotel for a long time, and we notice the differences in the tourism itself. And it's one of our biggest incomes, and it's one of the biggest incomes for the city of Muskogee, not just in the hotels, but also it helps the economy, and also restaurants, malls. When they come here, it helps the whole city of Muskogee. Some of the benefits of increasing tourism since it's gone down, it used to be really good, and it's just slightly gone down. You know, more employment, for one thing, is one of the things. The more tourism we have, the more hotel rooms that are booked, more employment, we'll employ more, and more spending will go on into the city of Muskogee. Obviously, it'll generate extra dollars, taxes for the city of Muskogee in the form of lodging taxes, increased spending in the local community. And again, basically, that affects the sales tax itself. Diversification of local economic developments, that's another thing, which all cities, as well as Muskogee, want that, extra development. Infrastructure, more tax benefits to local government and the city councils. Just in Muskogee, there's 25 hotels. Of the 25 hotels, there's 3 bed and breakfasts. We employ 250 people. To me, that's not just employing 250 people, that's 250 families that the hotels affect. right? Because, you know, if 250 people are employed by all the hotels, it affects the 250 families. 1,300 rooms plus in Muskogee. And I'm sure you guys know how much lodging tax that generates. And again, to us, the hotel owners and managers, we know it's the tourism that brings in that kind of money. Generates over $1 million in lodging taxes. The hotels itself pay over $600,000 in property taxes. So, you know, I'm just basically giving you a rundown of most of you already know. You know, I just want to give you our concern as hotel owners, hotel managers, what we want to do for Muskogee. You know, it's not just for our pockets, it's for pockets of the city of Muskogee and the people of Muskogee.
Right.
So,
Mark, your time is up, and we very well hear and understand your comments, and I appreciate your coming this evening with the group that has come with you,
Sure.
and your involvement with the Tourism Committee as well. And
Sure.
every time that I'm there, I see representation of the City of Muskogee Hotel Association. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's have your address, please. And you're Mark Patel.
2819 Military Boulevard,
Thank you,
Muskogee,
sir.
Oklahoma.
Appreciate your comments.
I appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time. Thank
You
you,
bet.
Councilman.
Item number 9A and B, please.
Consider an executive session to discuss and take possible action on the following. A, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss the workers' compensation claim of Leslie Arnold, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. B, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss the workers' compensation claim of William R. Andis, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session.
Would now consider a motion for executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there comment or discussion? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Yes.
Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes. Motion carries. We will now consider ourselves in executive session. If you would excuse yourselves from the chamber while we have an executive session, please. We'll now reconvene from our executive session. Roll call, please.
Mayor Bob Coburn.
Here.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Here.
Dan Hall.
Here.
Marlon Coleman.
Here.
Janie Boydston.
Here.
Wayne Johnson.
Here.
Patrick Kale.
Here.
Ivory Van.
Here.
Derek Reed.
Here.
Mr. Tucker, items 9A and B.
Thank you, Mayor. Pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, the council did convene an executive session to discuss the workers' compensation claim of Leslie Arnold. After being fully briefed on the status of that claim and upon receiving recommendation from the city attorney, I believe a motion would be appropriate to approve settlement of the claim of Leslie Arnold in the amount of $5,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there comment or discussion? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Yes.
Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes, motion carries. Item B.
Pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, the council did convene an executive session to discuss the workers' compensation claim of William R. Andis. After being fully briefed on the status of that claim and upon recommendation of the city attorney, I believe it appropriate for a motion to be made to approve settlement of Mr. Andis's claim in the amount of $40,000.
Move for approval. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any comments? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor James Scully.
Yes.
Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Derek Reed.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Mayor Coburn.
Yes, motion carries. And that concludes our agenda. And please take an opportunity, if you haven't, to go through Honor Heights Park and enjoy the beautiful plantings in Muskogee. Thanks for joining us.